Rebound, day 2, the mass awakens. And today what I thought I would do, guys, is since I showed you training yesterday and a post-lift meal of a high day, because I have my high day set up for back, where that's going to be the #1 priority for me. This is a more moderate day. So I know it's really fun to see me smashing tons of carbs and, just crushing food, right? But the grim reality, at least for me, is that yes, I tend to eat a lot of carbohydrates for what most people would consider, but it's not always high. So I originally anticipated maybe doing an off day, but then that's going to be a little bit on the other end of extreme, where that's where I'll really push carbohydrates low, keep protein high, and have dietary fat on the high end for me, to really push insulin sensitivity, so that when I come back on my high day, my body just soaks up all the nutrients. But today what I was going to do is, this is going to be a base day of eating. I have a push day, so I have chest, which is going to be a good bit of chest, a little bit of shoulders, and then a little bit of triceps. So the shoulders are my best body part, probably total, maybe better than my legs. So I'm going to reduce the volume there. I'm going to give me a little bit added volume. So the volume I pulled away from shoulders, I'm putting to triceps, which normally I do chest and shoulders. So I'm just adding a little bit of triceps in there, because I think that's going to help my front and back double, is having more sweep to the long head of my tricep. So I'll do 2 exercises for the long head of my tricep today at the end, and then we will crush chest. So with that, coming off a high carb day yesterday, I'm going to have all the pump. Chaz and I are going to film that at Elite, so pretty pumped and excited for that. But again, today is going to be a moderate carb day. And if you notice, all the food sources are exactly what I had all prepped. So follow along and I'll show you exactly what and when I eat each meal. All right, so here we go. Meal 1. I'm going to show you some cool tricks on how to make hard-boiled eggs really easily with an Insta-Kettle. So follow along. I'll show you the steps right now. Okay, here we go. Insta-Kettle. All we're gonna do is turn that on. I have 5 cups of water in that and bring it to a full boil. And then from there, we just come over here to my pan, and I'm gonna have that on high heat, as you can see. So when I dump that boiling water in here, it's gonna really get hot fast. I don't have to wait for the water to boil. It takes forever. So again, that'll be 8 minutes and 30 seconds on the eggs to do a hard boil. And then in this pan right here, I'm gonna put my chicken, which I'm gonna have 170 grams of chicken with 2 whole eggs and orange dragon sauce. 8 minutes, 30 seconds in, I'm just gonna simply pull my 2. I like mine a little bit more of a soft boil. So soft center, where Angela likes hers fully hard boiled. So leave hers in for 2 additional minutes. Let mine soak in a nice bath. Got the chicken going here. Orange dragon sauce to top in a minute, and I'll show you the finished product. There you have it. 170 grams of chicken, 2 whole eggs, all my morning health subs. That is granite joint care, that is fish oil, liver, kidney, heart, adrenal, vitamin D3, endokinase, CoQ10, giant thing of Stanley water. That's meal 1. Coming off of a high day yesterday, this is more of a moderate carb day, so I get 233 grams of carbs. So a moderate day, starting out protein, fat, bunch of pills, and I don't have broccoli sauce, sadly, because right now I gotta get to the store today. I want to go get my chiropractic adjustment, so we will show you what meal 2 looks like. We're back. Meal 2, pre-lift. It is 9:30, and I've bounced back and forth between, on my high days, I tend to like to do chicken, rice, olive oil, and apple pre-lift, and on days where I'm moderate, I tend to go more with oats, because it's a little bit more sustaining. So even though I get less carbs from oats than I would say rice, it sticks with me just as long as the rice, even though it's more carbohydrates with the rice. So let me show you this. I'm gonna flip around and show you this unfinished meal, and then I'll show you the finished product and we'll talk to it. So that is 80 grams raw measure oats with 2.5 cups of water. And you can see the kind of oats I use here. They're delicious, they're organic. I get them from Food Lion. This has 16 grams of almond butter in there. I get this from Sam's. That is 2 cups or 480 grams of egg whites. And then that is 125 grams of banana that I'll add into that after that cools for a minute. So we're gonna cook up the egg whites. We do not drink that, even though I have it in a cup. Please don't drink it. And I'm gonna cook that up, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's all said and done. I knew this was gonna happen. Hey, I'll show you the finished product. More finished product. Gotta love it. I get so hyped for my pre-lift meal because it's balanced, it tastes delicious. And again, it doesn't matter if it's chicken, rice, olive oil, and apple, or egg whites, almond butter, banana, and oats. Like, I love both of those meals equally. They're delicious, they digest well, and they just don't sit heavy in my stomach. So I know a lot of times people will say, oh, 80 grams of oats sits heavy. I would say, what kind of oats are you getting? One. And then, do you have any type of gluten intolerance? And if so, like, then obviously don't do that. Opt for cream of rice if you want a hot cereal. And if you're gonna do cream of rice, bowl of gains all day long. Discount code cedmonds. So, it's one of those things, like my pre-lift meal, no matter what it is, I want to choose something that digests well, sustains me, right? Because I know a lot of times people will say, oh, Chris, like, I just chug a protein shake and have some fruit. That would be through me in like 15, 20 minutes. And then the whole second 2/3 of the session, I'm like, oh my God, I gotta get how many. Like, even on the days when Chaz and I film, if I don't bring a meal with me, by the time we finish filming the workout, doing the intro, doing the outro, shooting 2 or 3 educational videos, I pack up, I get in my truck, I drive 30 minutes home. Like, I am to the point where I am ridiculously starving at that point. And that's a point where I don't ever like to get to, if I'm being brutally honest. So, I would really encourage you all to be smart with your nutrition there. Like, I've done preps where I've just had protein and carbs pre-lift. I've done ones where it's just protein and fat, and I've had ones that are just protein. All 3 of those are brutal. Like, they just are. The most ideal form, in my mind, of pre-lift meal is going to be a balanced meal. So a good clip of protein, a good clip of carbs, and a moderate amount of a moderate amount of fat. And that, for females, that's going to be 6 to 10 grams. For males, that's going to be anywhere between 8 and 15, maybe 20 grams of fat pre-lift. And I've just always found like that to be the proper ratio, right? So for me, that meal I just had, it was 63 grams of protein, it was 84 grams of carbs, and it was 15 grams of fat. So it falls right inside that window. Now, would I like more carbs? Oh, 100%. But that's not where we're at today. So that'll be later in the week when my carbs go back to high. And then as this rebound progresses, my intro workout, my post-lift, and my pre-lift will obviously, that'll be where the first bumps will be in terms of drastic increase. So just got about my time here. Keep these face wrinkles and stay good and tight. So the next thing you'll get to see is my pre-workout, my intro workout. And then we're headed to the gym to go train push. So chest, shoulders, and triceps. Pretty excited. Outfit change, headed to the gym. But first I want to show you what is in my intro workout. So what I'm drinking before, like on the way to the gym, and then while I'm there. Logically, let's start with the pre-workout. So I'm going to do 1 heaping scoop of Vasoblast. That is a non-stim pre-workout by Granite. I do a 1/2 scoop of the GX pre-workout, which is a stimulant. Also got tons of pump product in there. And I do 1/8 of a teaspoon of real salt in this shaker cup. Then in my intro jug, that is 1,200 milliliters of water, some ice, and I do 10 grams of creatine monohydrates, and then 1.5 scoops of recovery. So that comes out to 30 grams of carbohydrates. So if you look at that, that is all the things that I drink on the way to the gym, at the gym, and then by the time I'm finished training, like going into the second to last exercise, I want to have every bit of that intro done. Like, I need it all in my system to put it to use. So again, all these digest great. They leave no weird, bloated, gassy, distended stomach feel. And if you want to try any of them, I'm telling you, you will not regret it. Use my discount code cedmonds10, and you are going to be well on your way to the best workouts of your life. And we're live at Elite. You know what it is, Arctic Balm time. And someone joked me, they were like, your shoulders got pumped just putting Arctic Balm on. Yeah, man. They're a good body part, to say the least. So the only way you get that is through hard freaking training. And my shoulders used to be, hands down, my worst body part. They weren't developed. I did nothing but lift traps, right? Like when I was doing side raises, I was doing rear laterals, it was just me crushing my traps, right? And it took years to learn how to get side and rear laterals right. And that's one of the reasons I try to teach it so much on YouTube, is because it's something I'm very, very passionate about. So yeah, today, push day. And the premise there is I just, when I'm looking at my photos, and I can't wait to see the professional ones come back, like I still want more arm. So if you look from the front there, like I want this to hang more and get more sweep and belly when I'm doing a front double. And just gonna add a little bit of frequency, a little bit of volume. So I'm still gonna do my normal arm day on Saturday. So on Tuesday, I'm just gonna pull back on the shoulder volume, and I'm gonna add tricep volume. So if you see there, little push and pull, yin and yang, so to speak. But that's how I've been able to be so successful from like 37 to 40, is I'm not just that dumb meathead who adds volume blindly. And like, oh, I bring my legs up. Okay, cool. I'm gonna add leg volume and pull it from nowhere. Well, either you are or you aren't doing an adequate amount of volume. If you aren't, then you can just blindly add, right? But listen, you know me, I love volume. I'm gonna max this thing out. So if I'm gonna add something, I need to pull something out. And you pull out of your strong body parts. And that's what's always been effective for me. So today, we're gonna start with roller flies, wide press on the hammer strength, super slow dumbbell incline flies, hammer strength incline press, and I might even finish up a little bit of stretch push-ups there on the last round of that. Then I'm gonna go into shoulder. So it's gonna be a superset. I'm gonna do 2 rounds of reverse pec deck and band pull apart. I'm gonna do Y raises, superset with machine style laterals for 2 rounds. And then we're gonna finish with, I'm gonna do a dual handle with the CAS handles, push downs for triceps to get warm. And then we're gonna do dips, superset with the overhead rope extension. Oh, it's gonna be killer. I cannot wait. Again, 70-minute time limit. Chaz is filming today, so I'm not gonna have my camera out today at all. I will film some posing at the end so you guys can see how pumped I am. I mean, look at that already. Like, I'm already full. That's how you know the high day worked well yesterday. So, again, still nice and lean because I haven't been eating bullshit. We're gonna go train, push those nutrients into the muscle, and have some freaking fun. So, I'll see you on the other side. We are back home after 4 YouTube videos and 30 minutes of traffic. We get to come home and have this absolutely glorious meal. So this digests so well for me. It's very low fat, it's high protein, it is very high carb, and it just tastes delicious. Goes down easy. I'm hungry again in 90 minutes. So the meal after this, I'll only get turkey and green beans. So this is gonna be fast digesting, incredibly quick, and gonna replenish all the carbs that I tore through during that training session. So, I mean, if you watched the posing at the end, you can see how absolutely just crazy full I am and still rock hard. So, I'm gonna keep riding this bad boy out, and again, we'll see you at the next meal. If you watched day 1 of the Rebound, you'll know that I do bowl gains, obviously, for the primary carb source. I have some fruit, I have a Fruity Pebble Rice Krispies square, and then I have a whey isolate Ninja Creamy. So today that's peanut butter flavor. And then I did a mixture. I get 85 grams of bowl gains. So it's a mixture of all 3, the Sunmo, brownie batter, and cream pie. 125 grams of apple. And then the Fruity Pebble square. So again, digest well, tastes delicious, and time for me. What's hilarious is I forgot to pull the bowl gains out of the freezer. So again, that's the finished product. Look at that crust. Oh my word. Flaky sea salt on there. Already tore it into some of the ice cream. Took a bite of that and a bite of apple, but look at that crust. Oh God, yeah. That's why bowl gains is the best. Here we go. 225 grams of chicken, 50 grams of broccoli slaw, and we have some sweet and spicy G. Hughes sugar-free barbecue sauce, and that's takeout sauce on the right. So carb-free, fat-free meal, and we'll go back to a balanced meal for the next one, but this one right here is gonna be nothing but protein and veg. And this is gonna get my body primed for the following meal. All right, meal number 5. Now, I was gonna do steak and rice, but I just craved this freaking chicken and peanut butter and bolognese. So what I ended up doing here is that's 225 grams of chicken. I have 85 grams of rice, 50 grams of the strawberry Biscoff bolognese, 70 grams of strawberries, and then it's 16 grams of peanut butter on there. And then I also have 4 grams of olive oil in there, sprinkled with a little bit of sea salt from Newfoundland for my client Kina. So look at that absolutely glorious meal. It's not a ton of carbs, but it's gonna be super satisfying for meal 5 and a great pre-football practice meal for me. So meal 5, there we have meal 6. It is 8:21. We just finished a glorious football practice, showered, got the Gaps thermal in, so you know how that goes. But this meal 6 is gonna be absolutely delicious. I cannot wait to show you y'all. Like, it's a good mix of fish, white meat, potatoes, fruit, and even some veggie. So let me show you. So we have 200 grams of gold potato. That is 4 ounces of cooked salmon, wild caught, 4 ounces of cooked turkey with 50 grams of peppers and onions, 100 grams of berries. Absolutely. There you have it, guys. Full day of eating on a moderate day. The next day I'll show you of eating will be a high day. And I am beyond stoked to show you that, because those are the fun, those are the glorious days. But as you can see, moderate carbs, high protein, low to moderate fat, and this is what keeps my body in a good spot, right? So we have to, in order to keep insulin sensitivity high, I can't just ram 800 to 1,000 grams of carbs every day. Like, that would just set me up to be a fat, bloated mess. Even if it's all from clean food, I have to be intelligent with it. And especially coming off this rebound where, again, going into this show the last 4 to 6 weeks, there were days where I went really low with my food. So my body is used to that. So if you just pound it on the other side with nothing but high food, it's going to have a response as well. So be very mindful when you're being diligent with your meal plan, and you'll be surprised how well your body responds. So hope you all enjoyed this full day of eating. Tomorrow, my plan is to show you my morning routine. So wake up, all my morning drinks, how I start my day, and then with cardio, with glutes, stretching, mobility. So should be a fun little day 3. So day 2 is gonna be a moderate day of eating. Day 3 is gonna be stretching, mobility, morning routine. So I'm pretty excited to show you all this stuff.